Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. I am getting started on my next journal. And so I made a mess and I sort of began to clean it up and now I'm getting ready to do some gluing. And I thought I would walk you through what I'm doing. This journal is going to have a green fabric cover with some layers of stuff, and on the top is going to be this cigar box. This is a wooden cigar box that I found at an estate sale, and it's little. It's roughly 3 inches by 6 inches, so not very big at all. And when I got it and I was looking at it, it has a lid somewhere around here. I was trying to decide what I would store in it, you know, what little itty bitty somethings would fit nicely in here. And as I was looking at it, I thought what a wonderful shadow box that would make without the lid. And so I began to play. What I've done so far, first thing I did was I went over the entire thing. This is paper, right? So I went over the entire thing with matte medium and made sure any pieces of the paper that weren't glued down nicely, got some matte medium up underneath there, and just put a full nice coat over the whole thing. The next thing I did was there was some of the paper had torn, you know, was pulled off, I would think, from a seal or something when the box was opened originally. And so what I did is I just, on this side, the top and part of the bottom, I used a stencil and put down some Versamark and some copper embossing powder and embossed those sides with the copper. I left this one intact because it's so beautiful and there was nothing, no tears or rips or anything on that. So just along a couple of the edges and just a little, like little doodads. The next thing I did, I was originally going to stencil in the background back here, and I tried it and I didn't like it, and so I just inked the whole thing with a brown ink. That's why the inside is darker than the actual piece of wood. Just inked the whole thing, and then I made a mix of ink or acrylic paint with some black, a green and a black, and made a very, very dark, you can't even tell that it's green. Really, it looks black. And I just blotched the green on there and in the sides here where white was still showing, and just sort of sloppily threw it in there. Then I went over some of the edges with a gold metallic ink. Vintage gold is the color, Metallique from Prima Art Alchemy. That's the container. And so there's little gold highlights just on some of these edges around. So that's the base. That's now ready for me to start doing. Gonna start making. Okay, the next thing I did is I went through my stash of metal pieces, metals and metal pieces, and, you know, like this. And I get them from all over the place. This gold piece is a button. The rose that I've got on top, which I went ahead and glued on top, was actually a charm that looked like this. And so I just snipped off the top part of the charm, painted the whole thing with black gesso, and then added the gold metallic wax on top of that. This piece, for example, though it's not identical, looked like this. And these are, I think this is a Tim Holtz metal adornment piece. And some of them, this is a piece for an adornment for leather. Okay. And then others, I couldn't even tell you where I came from. This is actually just chipboard. So not all of these are metal. This is actually plastic. And so anything that wasn't already gold, this was already gold. This was silver. This one was silver. And I painted it with black gesso, then added the gold metallique on top. This was actually copper. Same thing. Painted it and painted it with black gesso. And this was actually white. You might be able to see underneath. This is like a little resin piece. This was white. If I can, there you go. There you go. My hands are gross, by the way, because I've been playing with all this, but you get the idea. So that's what I have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating a collage with all of my different metal, plastic, and chipboard pieces. And so I began the process by, this is a button. You can see the buttonholes on the back. You can see my glue through there. I glued this piece. Whoops, it'll fall right off if I'm not careful. I glued this piece, actually it's almost dry, onto the top of the buttonholes so that you can't tell that it's a button. And I'm gonna start with that piece. And I'm using, I am using matte medium. I'm using super matte medium. I found that this dries a little faster, sets up a little quicker, and it's super. So it's super, let's see, this goes a certain way, I think. We're gonna do that. And I'm just gonna squish that little guy right there in the corner. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go from this corner kind of up, and I'm just really making a collage. I've got an idea of what I want to put where, I think. And it might not look like much yet, but I think it'll be cool when it's done. So we'll see. Well, I don't know. There's always this, I get these ideas in my head, and sometimes they pan out and sometimes they don't. And I have to be, I learned to be willing to walk away from an idea or change an idea if it's not working out. But my ideas don't always turn out quite as I thought they would. And this white will all dry. I will press off some of that excess, but this will all dry clear. So this is going to be a multi-part video, I think, on making this cover, because this really is just the first step. Let's see, do I have too much? I think there's still a little too much glue on that. Hang on. Let's get some of that. Get some of that wiped up there. So that's all I'm doing at this stage, is just gluing and trying to come up with a composition of the pieces that I like. Now from there, I don't know. It's like a little puzzle, right? Playing up with the puzzle. I've got enough glue on my fingers that everything is sticking to my finger. This piece would fit nicely in, but this is it's a plastic bead, actually. It's got a huge bail on it, so I'm going to take off most of it, and then it should sit in there a little bit better. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's get this guy in there. All right, when that dries, the white that you see, you will not see. And, excuse me. And this should be all pretty stuck down. It's starting to, like this piece, this is the first piece I put down. I can move it a little, but not a lot. It's not as loose as like that piece, which is one of the latter pieces. So it is definitely starting to dry. So there it is, just a little plastic. I see there's plastic, there's chipboard, there's metal, there's resin. That's probably it. Plastic, chipboard, metal, resin. Oh, this is actually wood. This piece is wood, and there's metal leak, black gesso. There's some acrylic paint in here. Not there, but here. Some embossing. And up here, some embossing. So just a lot going on, lots of little things. And I like it. And I will be back once this all sets up and dries nicely. So I probably will walk away from this for about 2 days and just let it just sit. Make sure that it is really, really, really dry. And then I will come back and I will start working on the rest of the cover that this will be attached to. So more to come. Here she is, up close and personal, wet. Still some white showing there. But there she is so far, and more to come. Bye.